Hello everyone, it's Zakiziel here, and tonight I'll be reacting to 5 plus 5-ish minute lore episode 21, The Lasgun, by Old Man Reacts. If you haven't already checked out his content, then I highly recommend that you do and you subscribe to his channel. He makes great stuff. It's been a fun time in watching his videos. And as always, a link to the original video will be in the description box below. I am also looking forward to what he has to say about the Lasgun, and I imagine it's going to be a lot, given the time frame. But I'm also looking forward to that, because there is a lot to say about the humble Lasgun. But without further ado, let us begin.
General Medicaid warning. The views expressed in
5 plus
5-ish minute lore people delivered in rants are sanctioned by their scholar Perginium as excess-rageous. Prolonged exposure can result in loss of IQ, high blood pressure, random outbursts, and blunt force trauma to the skull, resulting in unconsciousness. Please consult your local physician for more information.
Ah, the humble, true blue, tried and true Lasgun. Underestimated at your own peril. Ants kill 30 million people every year. And while one might not be so scary, you'll be shitting yourself when 10,000 of the things jump you.
It's been called the flashlight, the cat toy, and other names that are best left unsaid. It's referred to as a joke, almost comical in its nature as it relates to other weapons of the factions in 40k, and in truth to call the Lasgun one of the most weak weapons in the entire lore is not far off. With that said, don't get it twisted. Despite being easily outclassed by almost every other weapon in the entirety of the 40k setting, it also easily outclasses over half of the best infantry weapons in any other setting. In 40k, we call this gun the flashlight, because in a universe where there are factions whose infantry literally fire black fucking holes, it drastically comes up short.
Yep, that's the Dark Eldar for you, with their dark matter weaponry firing essentially black holes, or the Eldar D cannon, which rips open a hole into basically super hell and sends you into it.
In reality, if you took the humble flashlight of the Imperial Guard and placed it into any other setting, it would become one of the most powerful infantry weapons in existence. The standard M35 Galaxy pattern Lasgun, the most common variant, is a rugged, reliable weapon that has no moving parts. It has an unscoped effective range of 90 to 100 meters. Note that I said effective, as in where someone can reliably hit a human-sized target with just iron sight. It has the recoil of a field mouse farting into a cotton swab, as well as no drop-off, and can pump out 150 shots at a rate of 220 shots per minute with zero spread. If you slap a scope on it, you can love tap a towel in the center of a stupid head at distances up until the beam actually dissipates, which will entirely depend on what it's going through. Naturally, the thicker the atmosphere, the less the maximum range, but this is going to vary wildly. Let's talk about what happens from the business end. If you're going to try to kill someone with a laser, you're going to need about 50,000 joules of energy to do its center mass. The standard power pack of a Lasgun at full charge contains 19 million joules, or Vouls, welcome to 40k. Do some division and you get roughly 127,000 joules of thermal impact force per shot at its base setting. This is more than enough to turn your chest into a bird cage and evict limbs from your body, which this weapon does regularly.
Because, if I remember correctly, if a shot from a Lasgun hits exposed flesh, it will flash boil the water in your body, and you will have excruciating pain as your body literally swells and then bursts in the area.
Add on to that, you can teach Gregory the village idiot how to aim, fire, clean, and maintain it within the span of 20 minutes.
I love you, Kitchen Gun!
The Lasgun is also a logistical miracle. Those same power packs that hold 19 million joules will also be used dozens and dozens of times before any real drop-off in power capacity will be noticed. You can literally use the same 3 power packs to fire off enough rounds to fill a freight container with standard ammunition, and you can fit them all into a single pocket and a pair of cargo pants. Also, the power packs I've been going on about can be recharged by literally sitting them in the damn sun. I am not kidding. If you're really in a pinch, throw them in a fire. I'm still not fucking kidding. Most frequently, though, they are charged by the equivalent of a USB port hooked up to anything that can produce electricity.
Oh, by the way, while you can in fact recharge them by throwing them into a fire, or just holding them close to a fire, it is not recommended to do so, because it does damage the power pack, and the Adeptus Mechanicus will get very cross with you if you do that. But hey, if you're on a battlefield and there's some 30-foot tall monster that wants to eat you charging towards you, and you need ammunitions, angry tech priests are the least of your concerns.
This weapon, which all 40k fans make fun of, and people who don't know what the hell they are talking about make fun of for other reasons, has that kind of efficiency for ammunition. Ammunition that in a single round can perform surprise leg amputations at 300 meters. To top it all off, if things have gone significantly horrific with a side of Slaneshi, you can rig the thing to explode like a grenade. With all the variants to the Lasgun there are, most of them utilize the exact same power pack, which makes life astronomically simple when it comes to resupplying a regiment's infantry. No, this weapon will not melt its own fucking barrel. No, it won't just break under stress. Anyone who says that is either A, deliberately lying, B, bullshitting the pseudo-narrative, or C, has not done their homework. In fact, the only time you hear about a Lasgun's barrel beginning to suffer from the heat of the weapons comes from hotshot packs, or more specifically, Hellguns. These weapons aren't given out to the stock standard Imperial Guardsmen. Most of the time they are issued out to specific regiments, where the weapon itself is tailor-made for that regiment.
Yep, such as the Inquisitorial Stormtroopers, or the Kasserkin of Cadia. Also, those things draw so much power that a normal power pack isn't going to cut it. You have to have a power backpack to fuel that thing.
You also have the long las variant, which is specifically designed with a slide lock for easy barrel replacement because the power it puts out will begin warping the barrel within 20 to 50 shots. The standard Lasgun is insanely durable, and as long as you don't do something abnormally stupid with it, the Lasgun will not only outlive its original wielder, but the next 20 who hold it.
Captain, they are now locking lasers on us.
Lasers?
Yes, sir.
Lasers can't even penetrate our navigation shields, don't they know that? The regulations do call for yellow alert.
Very old regulation.
Well, make it so, number one.
Corporate sentiment. All hands abandon ship! Repeat, all hands!
In fact, if not used for purposes other than intended, the only real maintenance besides standard cleanings it requires that can't be done by a stock standard guardsman is to have his focus crystal changed once every 10,000 shots by a tech priest. That's it, and that's all. Now on to intended uses. The Lasgun is meant to be used as an anti-infantry weapon, with it being exceptionally good against lightly armored targets. Most regiments are trained to utilize the weapon in double or triple ranks, sending a sheer rain of volley fire onto an approaching enemy. This
Oh, side note, by the way, since mentioned, people also make fun of the Imperial Guardsman's flak jacket as being basically a t-shirt because, similar with the Lasgun, a flak jacket may as well be a t-shirt, given what you face. I mean, orcs often fire rounds the size of soda cans. And then there's the Space Marines, which, traitor ones are going to be using bolters, which are essentially miniature rockets. So, to those things, yes, they are basically t-shirts, but against a Lasgun shot, flak armor is actually pretty protective. It'll soak a few.
makes assaulting a guard-held position damn near suicidal, unless you're packing heavy armor or are packed inside an armored personnel carrier. If something closes the ranks with the IG, the las rifle can be fitted with a bayonet, or used as a club, without concern of breaking the weapon. You might think that considering everything I've said so far, the rifle is heavier than Hermann von Straub, but that's not the case. The las rifle itself weighs about as much as a goddamn chihuahua. Coming in...
Chihuahuas are such angry little dogs, and I find them hilarious. Especially when they do that weird thing with their eyes that makes them look like they're high.
In a whopping 2.3 kilograms, or if you do things in standard, 5 fucking pounds. So we have a weapon that is light, extremely durable, can be used to beat orcs and tyranids alike in the head, can stab Tau, can blast a hole in 150 cultists before it has to be reloaded, with ammo that can be replenished by petting a cat and then use the static discharge to reload your weapon. Why is it called the flashlight? Why does everybody say it sucks? Because frankly, in 40k, where Necron Gauss rifles can one-shot tanks, Eldar shoot literal molecule then shurikens at you, Tau are Tau, and orcs are too.
By the way, with Tau being Tau, it's the fact that their standard weapon is ion weaponry. Ion weaponry is closer to plasma weaponry.
Stupid to die, it is one of the weakest weapons seen, which is remarkably unfair considering. The orcs are the orcs, but the Eldar will always fit their troops with the best they can get their hands on, because if they take heavy losses in a battle, their population shrinks by percentage points. The standard war gear of an Eldar is mastercrafted at worst, and would be considered artificer most times, meaning you're not going to get much better than what they are currently carrying. And
Yep. In fact, due to how long the Eldar live, it's a case where, a human who makes a weapon might have, some years, maybe some decades of experience. An Eldar who makes weapons, they could have centuries of experience doing that, which also applies to their warriors. There's a human who's, say, been in the PDF might have some basic training in the number of weeks, maybe a year, before they, at most, before they enter service. The Eldar, given how long they live and their path system, you can potentially have a warrior that's had 1,000 years of battle experience.
And this is on their stock standard infantryman, the Ranger. The Necrons use technology that is considered magical, and every Necron unit can be considered an elite formation by any other standard. The Tau...
Which, by the way, for those who don't know about Necron Gauss weaponry, they're basically disintegrators. They shave layers of molecules off of anything they fire at. There is nothing that will protect you from Necrons, if I remember correctly.
Even though they should have been virus-bombed into extinction by now, are still in the early development of a galactic civilization, and do not even have a fraction of the logistical concerns of the Imperium for defending their space, so they can afford to equip their troops with their own fucking Gundam suits. But the more they spread into the galaxy, the more issues they will run into. The orcs are naturally armored by thick skin and pure stupidity, and the Tyranids are, well, space bugs of death! So what I'm getting at here is the standard las rifle is hot garbage against races that field literal works of art and science as weapons, or are heavily armored by default. For a mass-produced weapon, though, designed to outfit an army that cannot be counted, it's shockingly effective and vastly superior to other weapons of its type. To compare a las rifle to an Eldar Ranger's long rifle, and say the Lasgun sucks in comparison is like comparing a Ford Focus fresh off the factory line to a chopper built by the death machines of London. You're taking something built to serve a purpose, comparing it to something built to be a statement. Don't do that. That's fucking stupid. Compare it to weapons of similar purpose. The E-11 from Star Wars with the Stormtroopers. The compression phaser rifle of Trek with every single boarding action possible. The Morida of the Starship Troopers franchise. And the SMI-80 of Battlestar Galactica. In terms of range, ammunition, durability, versatility, and firepower, it either meets or exceeds them all. In all categories. That is, unless you're dismissing entire swathes of canon lore to focus on a single technical manual that you'll use to form an opinion on. While most of the time...
Also, a great thing too is also the fact that specifically comparing it to blasters from Star Wars. Blasters, by the way, fire plasma, which the time it takes to travel, given what people observe, means that once you get to a certain range, blasters just really aren't very effective. You'll have at least a full second before that shot even reaches you.
The technical side of this rant has covered primarily the specifications of the most common variant of the Lasgun, the M35 Galaxy. There are hundreds of variants which are tailor-made to fit the role of the regiment under which they are assigned. The Akatran pattern is used by the Aleutian drop troop regiments, and is so effective that other drop troop regiments employ it as well. It's lighter, built in a bullpup style, and is easy to maneuver. The Lucius pattern number 98 is exclusively used by the Death Corps of Krieg, and is purposefully built to deliver a powerful shot but draw far more power from its power pack. The Vostroyan pattern is used by the Vostroyan Firstborn, and is often handcrafted because the Vostroyans are too drunk off the piss of the potato bear to deal with less than handcrafted weapons. These are
Also, the Vostroyans have a history of weaponsmithing, which goes back over 10,000 years.
just a few of the well-known variants, not including variants specifically designed with urban warfare in mind, or variants such as the Long Las itself, or variants designed to be used in guerrilla warfare, such as the Retribution pattern. There are even patterns meant specifically for close-range assaults, like the Model 481 or the Maravik patterns. There are more powerful weapons to be sure, but the Lasgun holds a special place in my cold, dead heart because it is the weapon that has held the line. It is the guardsman with his Lasgun that yelled Cadia stands. It is the guardsman with her Lasgun that held the wall at Hell's Reach. The guardsman with Lasgun in hand stood shoulder to shoulder with Blood Angels defending Ball. Is it a weak weapon compared to the other weapons employed in 40k? Most definitely, but wars are not and cannot be fought with the most powerful weapons at every turn, or else the galaxy would be filled with nothing but cracked planets.
Also, as a little thing, one of my favorite variants, actually, of the Lasgun, is the one used by, I believe it was it the Mordian Iron Guard, I think was it? That instead of a normal Lasgun, they use a Laslock, which it is only fireable in semi-automatic mode, but it has 3 different power settings. The normal power setting, which is pretty good. Then it has the fuck that specific thing over there power setting, as Arch Warhammer put it. And the fuck that particular thing over there up the ass power setting, for when you absolutely need to make sure that something is dead. Yeah, that was a very fun watch. I hope you guys enjoyed watching with me, and if you did, I'd appreciate if you like, comment, and subscribe. But until next time, bye.